Is everybody done? Not quite? Okay.
Is this one? Okay.
Let's see. Layer 3 network protocol being used is. I would think. So was this the answer?
I think that's the answer.
I think it's
7.
this. Oh no, this is the answer. That is the answer.
Oh,
That's
tight.
that's the no,
Well, it's 7 then.
the control. FAT. F-A-T.
Oh.
Cats.
Yeah.
Fat cats don't eat free. Did it let you take it more than once? Oh. Did you get 10 out of 10?
I got 10 out of 11 or
Oh, there's 11 questions. Okay. I'm like, but it says that you got, okay, but now I see. What was the last quiz? The default gateway?
switches.
Oh.
I need to review that one. It's rough.
Yeah. But looked at, yeah, that looked at. You're going to need to be in the VM, but we're going to move around, so you might not want to go into it yet, you know. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. 8 is, yeah, 8 and 10 are routing, and 8 is about routing, and 10 are the commands. You will have to do homework on spring break. If you look at if you look at week 9, there's homework for week 9. We're about to talk about that in a minute. Yeah. 17 modules, 16 weeks of class, you got to do a little work over spring break, or you'll have to double up in the next few days. Yeah. Okay. Regarding the quiz, I would like to see all of you getting an 8 or higher on that quiz. Okay, so if you don't know the Ethernet header, work on that. Okay, again, if we think about the different things that we've been talking about since the beginning, you want to start getting good at network addressing at this point. Okay, and then what else? The OSI model, the TCP IP model. What else? What falls with this group here? PDUs. Okay, and then what else? So we're adding Ethernet header to this. What else? Yeah, I think it's a good idea to understand how the switch works to build a MAC address, which we'll be looking at today. And what else? What is it? Yeah, although that's not something that's one of the things we've hit really hard. Standards, I think, are more something you can memorize, right? I want you to be good at network addressing. I think it would be good if you get good at VLSM. That's helpful, but on these must-have lists, what else are we missing up there? Please, somebody.
Default gateway.
Thank you. The default gateway. The default gateway.
That's like a trigger point on basket like that. Always gonna default.
Okay. All right. Regarding week 9, that's next week. It is spring break. I have scheduled some stuff during that week. Okay. And module 13 is very short. Okay. Module 13 is very short. And it's about ping and trace route, which are some of the things we've been using. Okay. So we are wrapping up this week the switch. We're wrapping up layer 2, 6, 7, and 9. When you come back, we're going to be going into the network layer. Modules 8, 10, 11, 12, and 13. 5 modules, all dedicated to routing and to layer 3, the network layer, okay? So module 13 is at the end of those, but again, it's about ICMP and traceroute, which are functioning at layer 3. This is not a very long module, and there are a couple of packet tracers, and then there's some extra credit packet tracers, or 1 extra credit packet tracer. Okay, and then when you come back, yeah, we're hitting module 8 and 10. 8 and 10 are, again, routing. 8 is all about routing, and 10 are the routing commands. Now, what you're going to find, I hope, is that the routing commands are very similar to those that are on the switch. How do you set a host name on the switch? Host name. How do you protect the privileged exec mode? Enable secret. Okay, so all that is the same. Ideally, module 10 will be a lot of review with some new stuff in there. But again, it's mostly going to be review because the commands are very similar to that than a switch. Okay? All right, we're going to do a lab today. And I'm going to put everybody in their partners, and then we're going to spread out across the room. And I want to do what we did last time, or I think it was last time, where you're going to set up your console on one row and your network on another row, okay? So you're going to be consoling in from one row and your network on the other. And what I'd like to avoid is I don't want everybody on this row, because I think that happened last time, where we were all consoling in from row number 2. So we're going to just make sure that we spread out a little bit. And you're going to need to have probably some laptops, okay? So I'm going to call out the partners, and what I would recommend is that you maybe go to where you're going to set up your console. So let's do it that way first. So you and your partner will go to the row that you're going to do your console. And does your console care what row you're on? doesn't care at all what row you're on, right? Doesn't matter as long as you're plugged into a red jack, the console doesn't care, okay? Let's see. Orgil and Guillermo, Matt and Oswaldo, Marcus and Lou, Daniel and Joey, Caesar and Gabby. Okay, so go ahead and let's move to where you're going to do your console, right? And again, let's spread out. Spread out. So once you and your partner get in front of two computers, turn them both on and get into the VMs. So I don't see anybody on row 3. Let's get 2 groups in back there in row 3, or at least 1 group in row 3. Okay, so you're good here. Yeah, you're, because this is, yeah, we're pretty spread out. This is good if you want to sit tight here. Okay, so once you get into the VM, get into Canvas. Both of you will be getting into Canvas. You're both going to download the lab. We're going to do something a little bit different today.
So should I VM one on the console?
Just get in here for now. We're just going to get into, you're going to download the lab on the 2 desktops. Okay, you're going to download the lab on the 2 desktops. Do you have to move?
Yeah, these two don't work at all.
What do you mean?
I have this weird error.
Did turning it off and on work? Okay, go ahead and move, but let's just try turning this off and on, because we'll probably need these anyway. All right, so once you've got that 7.5.5 downloaded, can you just pop your hand up so I know? 7. Yeah, do the student partner one. Student partner one, 7.5.5, when you both have it. Both of you have it?
I'm in the process of downloading it.
Okay.
It's not downloaded on
You're going to be editing it. You're only going to turn in one per team, so. .5.5. It should be in our in-class activities. Let me double check. Yep, for Thursday.
It's under the week 8.
Yeah, week 8 in-class activities. Right here, Thursday. You only need one. You got them?
The document on our console? It's like the first.
You need it on your console, so you got to
That's what I was trying to tell you. Console on that, right? It's like a lot in here, so.
use this as your console. Use these as your console. Wherever you're sitting will be your console.
Okay.
These will be your console. Okay, does everybody understand where you're sitting is your console? That's not where your network's going to be. Okay? So everybody have it downloaded onto their devices? Okay. So pick who's going to do the actual document, who's going to be filling in the document, and just, let's add in, we're starting at 6:30, okay? Put in who your lab partner is. Put both of your names in there. So whoever is going to submit it, right? So you won't need to submit two, but you need them. Each need it on your own computers, okay? I'll explain why in a minute. Yeah, it's actually due Saturday, but. Okay, so Daniel and Joey, you're going to build your network on row 1. Okay, so you're going to build your actual network on row 1. You're going to console from there, but you'll build your network up here. Okay, what rack do you want? 1 or 4?
It's on this side, 1.
One's on this side. Odds are on this side, evens are on that side. Okay, so you're going to be on rack 1, okay? Matt and Ozzy, you're going to build your network on row 3, okay? So you're going to take those 2 computers in the back there for your network. That's where you're going to build your network. Do you want 3 or 6? 6 it is. So this was 1, oh, no, 6. This is 1, rack 6. Okay. Gabby and Caesar, you're going to build your network on row 1. Okay, so you can use these 2 over here for your network. Okay, do you want 1 or 4 for your rack?
1.
Okay, you want rack 1. Okay, so rack 1. Marcus and Lou, you're going to build your network on row 2. So your network is going to be here, your little in-band network. So do you want 2 or 5?
2.
Okay. Rack 2. Orgel and Guillermo, you are going to build your network on row 2. Do you want 2 or 5? 2. Okay. So everybody got it? Do you know where you're going to be for your network? Yes. Daniel and Joey, rack 1. Sorry. Rack 1. You're on row 2, you'll build on rack 1. Okay, so everyone fill out your information, right? So what rack will you be using? Does everybody know what that network address that's associated with your rack? So if you're on rack 1, you're a 172.16.0.10. If you're on rack 2, you're a 172.16.0.20, right? And then 30, 40, 50, 60, everybody got that? Okay. Okay. When you're doing your lab, again, I want you to kind of think of it, try to put yourself into what that might really look like. And that is that your network is like maybe on the 15th floor. And you're consoling from your office, which is next door to the network room, right? So I want you to see if you can just kind of visualize what this is really like. That's why we're separating it, to make it a little bit more realistic, okay? Now, the benefit is you're going to have 2 consoles. So you're going to be working at the same time. One of you will do switch 1, and the other one will do switch 2. Normally, like the first person does switch 1, and then you trade, okay? But now you can work concurrently, okay, and help each other. So if you know, your teammate doesn't remember a command or doesn't know the command, well, you're helping. If you finish first and your teammate's still working, see if they need any help. This is a team effort, even though we're working at the same time, okay? I want to show you at what point you'll start working. So you're going to go through the background. I would recommend you read this because there's a lot of important information in here if you didn't already. You'll configure your devices and verify connectivity, cable up your network. You're going to answer these questions. Number 3 is where you're going to start configuring. So decide right now who's partner 1 will do switch 1, who's partner 2, that will do switch 2. So go ahead and between yourselves decide who's doing partner 1, switch 1, partner 2, switch 2. Got it? Everybody know who's doing what? Okay. So you're going to go in, console into the switch, and enter global mode. You're going to be doing the commands, going through the commands. Now normally on page, I think this is page 4, normally on page 4 it tells you to stop and change partners. Is everybody listening? Okay, but you don't have to change partners because you're working concurrently. Okay? After G, okay, when you've done all this, after G, you no longer will be working on 2 consoles. Okay, so I want you to mark it somehow. See how I've put all these asterisks in here? So it's after the stop here and change partners and right above the step 2, verify network connectivity. That's the point at which you begin to work on one computer. And you start answering questions together, doing show commands together, talking through the questions. Okay, so I want you to mark it on your papers so that you know at what point, okay, that you match back up. Now, what you might have to do, because you'll have to do some show commands, is the person that's not doing the filling in might need to close out their device. So you can pull them both up on the device you're sharing and that you're working on, so you could look at them at the same time, okay? So that's the importance of knowing when you're going to start working on one device, because you might want to close the device so you can bring them both up on one computer so that you can see the MAC address tables together, okay? Everybody got that? Okay, so the console doesn't care, right? So if you're ready, you can go ahead and move your console cable over. You can move your desktop over to get onto the console. And what do you need to verify first once you scoot that over? What are you going to look for first? What IP address?
IP address.
And so what would you be looking for? What would it start with? 172. So once you move your console cables over, verify that you're on the 172 network. And remember, you're building your network, your actual in-band network on whatever row and whatever rack you already we designated. Okay? And when you're ready, go ahead and get started. What?
I don't know. It's pushes the gear like turned off.
Wonder what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like literally turned off. And then
I wonder if they pushed out some updates or something. Although that happened to you over there too, so it's almost like it's associated with your MEID. So
it's just user error in our
it might be. Okay. So that looks good. That looks good.
Row 2.
So 2 computers.
On row 2. So, like, it's not added to in front of us. Somebody logged in. Yeah, I see someone logged in.
So,
3 hours.
well, or we'll just log this person out. Caesar, we're going to log you out. Are you in the VM already? Doesn't look like it. There you go. Let's get in the VM. Okay. Make sure everyone does some cabling. Everyone does some IP setting up. It doesn't work?
Yeah, remember when I told you that I kept
Oh, let's use a laptop. I just closed those up. Let's open those back up. Just use a laptop, and that'll take care of that. Okay, where are you building your network? Yeah, but what row? There you go. If there's any problems with the computers, we'll use laptops. Yeah, they have to be on the VM because the GCC network won't let you change.
He's thinking and thinking and thinking here.
Yeah, the GCC network won't let us change IP addresses and stuff like that, and we. She is certified to teach that class, period. However, she wanted to take it so that she can see how it's actually being taught, period. It can be a difficult class to teach because the AWS lab environment is a little tricky. Yeah, you can, I'll get you one. Yeah.
Don't know why our memory is absolutely maxed out on some of these computers. I don't know, because the VM can't start because there's not enough memory for it. Yeah. I don't know what's going on that's in the background with a lot of the computers, that the
Whoa.
memory is like absolutely going crazy.
Can you take a picture of that, please? And then take a picture of the message. I'm gonna have to work with IT.
Yeah, something's going on in the
'Cause
background.
this totally-
there's a massive spike
Yeah, I can see
in
that.
some resources.
Like earlier.
If we need to use laptops, we'll just use laptops.
I
Yeah.
hit save in the system.
Oh my. Yes.
169.
Okay.
So what do I unplug or
Try it again. How long did you wait?
right now about a minute?
A minute, so yeah, sometimes it can be slow.
Okay.
If you had a 172 and you changed it, then it became a 1.
Yeah, so you always want a 172 first, because that means it's back there. So you had a 172 before you added the IP address?
Yes. before I
Okay.
did.
Go ahead and let's go into the control panel. Let's take a look at what you had. Properties. You can get a laptop, Caesar. It's in the laptop cart. Okay. And then hit OK. Close, close, close. Is yours taking, Marcus?
Mine did it instantly.
It did it, yeah.
God, 2007 call.
Why don't you use a different one? One of the mini ones. You know what? See what happens once you were on the VM first, right? You went into the VM before you moved the cable over? Because you have to go into the VM first, then move the cable over.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Okay. Go ahead and cable up and then come back and try again. See what happens. Yeah. It won't let you. It won't let you do it on the GCC network. We don't have privileges.
No privilege.
Yeah. No soup for you. So if it says duplicate, you might have both used the same one, or it's, okay, it could be because has anyone cabled yet?
Oh, wait.
Okay, so that's okay. Don't worry about it till you cable, because they're seeing each other, right? We're on the switch. They can all see each other. But once you build your own little in-band network, it will be your own network. Okay? And then it won't be able to see this network.
So it's already logged into this VM, right? 'Cause
It doesn't, you don't need a VM on the laptops.
need a VM on the laptop?
No, you don't need a VM on the laptops. Are you PCB? I'm PCA. You're PCA? Oh, well, look at that. That's. Okay, so just go in there and remove it. That means somebody didn't take it off the last time they used the computer.
Really quickly, we need to plug this in.
Control panel?
We need to plug this one into the port. That's what you need.
So what about yours? Why does it have 192.168.1.20?
Oh, I changed it to PCA's IP address.
PCAs? Okay, but that says 20, not 12.
I thought that
Oh.
was because we were using the rack 2.
No, that's, okay, that is for the rack, 172.16.0.20. But this is your in-band network. You're back here for your out-of-band console connection. That's when you use the 172 address. All right, so you understand how this is the console, right? And you're going to build your little network, and that's your in-band network. In order to get into it, you got to be out of band. Okay. Well, let's see. So explain to me what's happening.
PCA, PCB.
Yep, exactly right.
We're making sure everything's good here before we go back.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then the IP address change.
Okay, sometimes it wants to see a cable in there before it'll let it change. And why yours did it and his, it's just a random thing. It's,
Computers are weird.
yeah. Okay, so this is your in-band network. Think this is like on the 15th floor. You're the network administrators. Your office is right next to the rack room. You got to go do your work.
Understood.
Got it? Okay. Right? Same thing here, right?
What's that?
So like imagine that this little in-band network exists on the 15th floor of your building. Okay, you're the network administrators. Your office is right next to the router room. Now you're coming back to work and you're going to start setting up the devices, the intermediary devices, so that your employees can communicate. So think like that, okay?
Which are you?
Oh, I think I was on 20.
Yeah, make sure you write.
21. I was 21 and you were 22.
So write those down. Which one's switch one?
You were 2022. Oh, and I was 22.
Okay. So you're doing switch one, Joey? Are you doing that one? And you're,
Yeah. Well, that's the one. That's one. Yeah. That was that computer, and that was the one I hooked up in there. That was what you did. That one. Yeah.
okay,
So.
works for me.
Okay.
As long as you each know who's doing what.
It adds up. Quite a vibe from that. So, credit.
That, all that part's run the target device will begin build and configure blah blah blah. Report blah. Switch on the basic setting. Okay, we already did all of this, right? Label the network shown and the topology. We already did that. We already did that. We configured the IPv4 and all that. From the command prompt of A for the now we pinged it from B to A. So
Oh, I was just saying this is.
oh yeah. Ping the switch. Oh, that's what we did. Okay. Every once in a while, but you do just black this entire keyboard out.
We'll figure it out, and then it's 20.
Just all muscle memory.
2028.
Yep. Did you take typing? Oh my God, I wish they would teach typing in school because it's really a hindrance for people that go into IT and don't know how to type. Oh, and can you type? Oh. Do you finger type?
We might have been.
But that's still much better than a lot of people. No, that's good. I mean, there's a lot of people, they don't type at all, and so it's a hindrance in the IT world. Yeah. Yeah.
I've had a few of those people who are a little tough, but
Is that what you do?
no,
Oh.
not me.
But some people can even do that without looking.
That's crazy.
You know, I can't. I mean, I can type. I can type a lot, but
Oh, hold on a second. We both got them.
Especially you start gaming, if you're a PC user. That's probably definitely where I learned it most. Playing gaming, typing, or even screens, you know, on the keyboard.
140.
Well, when you are. You can hit enter. Once you're talking to somebody, you can. So yeah, no, I'm not a console gamer.
have you got your basic configs done? Ah. That's that fast typing.
I think we can almost do that now. I look at the sheet we've done it so many times.
That's good. That's the point. That's why we do it so many times. Yeah. And then if you don't get fast enough at it, you know, or you're not remembering it, then I recommend just going to Packet Tracer, do one every single day. Host name, service password encryption, enable secret class. Like just go into Packet Tracer and do it every day.
And then for the iTunes, it's the same. Okay.
doing 18. Yeah, because I'm 18, so I need to.
I was like, there it is. No, I was just making it wider. So.
Looks like the conversation about the switch too. So this stuff is switch one. This shit is switch two. Still typing all of this from right here because that's
Yes. Scholar Daniel. Okay, these are our console, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna add this here. Well, actually, mine was there, but I went to my screen was here, so I went
Oh.
over here to widen it, and now whenever I try to put my cursor there and put a space
Oh.
in, it goes like
Okay.
where to go.
Hit enter. There you go.
Okay.
And so just kind of start that part over.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can copy and paste that actually.
Well, or I can just hit arrow up, can't I?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
And now you can finish it.
Okay.
Yep. Good.
I was like, how
Yeah.
do I get there?
Yeah, when it does that, what it's doing is it's jumping down, so.
Just hit enter.
Yeah.
So now it's verifying pixel PCA. So PCA is the one that's over there. Or I need the We've been successful. Analyze the MAC address for PCA.
Yeah, that would be like, actually, yeah, you would do it like virtual machine or something.
Okay, so it's saying. We need to know. What is the OUI portion of the MAC access? Okay, that's not difficult. Serial number.
You should be able to.
We're not
Ping.
able to. So do we do something else?
I don't know. Let's go troubleshoot. Did you check things? Did you check things out yet? Okay. Okay, so let's see. PCA?
Yep.
PCB?
Yep.
Okay, so have you verified your IP addresses?
So 3 and his is 4. We did that already.
Okay, 3, and then
4.
you did 4. And what's the ping?
It's timing out. It's just not giving us
Timing
anything.
out.
Or
And
no,
what
that's
about,
the
is that both directions?
168. Good question.
So is it just
Wanna
one way
ping,
or both
PCA?
ways? Oh, okay. So what this can tell you that you might not know about our network is that, take a picture of what? Oh, okay. So it's working on one and not the other. You might have a firewall. So let's check the firewalls.
How do I do that?
Go into the control panel.
Oh, it's just that.
Because sometimes our network will just automatically turn it on. And then come over here. Okay, now check it on this side. Oh, sorry.
Well, that's good. System security. And then, yeah. Yeah.
There it
It's
is.
on.
Yep.
Okay.
So if that ever happens again, just check that. So there's a couple things. Always check the IP addresses, the cabling, and
Why would a firewall block a ping?
because that's the way these firewalls are set up. Yeah.
Girl was working here. I wonder if she did that.
I don't know. No, it's just random. Yeah. Voila. Okay.
Good to know. Thank you.
We need that.
Glad it was simple.
I know, right? Someone put yes, they were because we decided to move bases.
It's just what's the MAC address to be ran down on the MAC serial. What does BIA stand for? And why does the output show the same MAC address twice? What is the MAC address serial? So would the serial be? That's literally what I was about to probably say. That's what I'm going to guess. We'll just leave it at that.
Are you on the back too? As long as you're using whatever voucher that you use.
Oh, no, it's not. What is the layer 2 and layer 3 addresses displayed on this one?
I'm a bit confused on the manufacturer.
Okay.
How do we find that info from the IP config hall?
It was in the book.
Did it show up in IP config hall? Is that where we're supposed to be looking for, or we gotta Google search?
You got to Google search it.
Ah, okay.
So what are you Google searching? There's something specific you got to search.
Last 6 ID vendor.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's go talk to Marcus. Let's go talk to your work associate and ask.
For the vendor ID is the last bottom half we did. 4030 00.
4430 or is it 0015?
Yeah, so you have to figure out what part of that address is your OUI. Okay.
Yeah, we got that. We looked that part.
Oh, okay.
My phones take forever to load to this day. So.
Using Brave.
Well,
So you
That's all I have on my
looked
phone.
it up on your own devices, right, on these.
Yeah.
Okay. So who is it? Who's the vendor?
Well, that's not what we have to look up.
Oh, I thought you already had looked
No,
up.
no.
Oh, that's what's taking so long.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking up the vendor based on this, right? Okay.
For PCA, the switch display the MAC address of PCA. I hope you. Yeah, I was about to say, I hope you.
Yeah.
It's the switches, IP address, and then dot 20, and then the rack.
Let's go look. Okay, so are either of you in term?
I'm in territory right now.
Okay. And Orgil, are you already in term? Okay, so let's see. Okay, so you're on the console, right? Okay. So if you need to get into that rack back there, what do you need to tell the console?
What switch is on, right?
Okay, and what would that be?
The 2028.
Okay, that's the device ID. But what is the network address for the rack? So did you fill that out? Which one of you filled that out? At the top, at the very top. Okay. So did you fill it out? Because it's not filled out here. So which one of you filled that out?
I think we just forgot it.
Okay, so let's get that filled out. Okay, so what rack will you be using? Are you using rack 2? Yeah. Okay, so what is the network address of that rack? Okay. So who's going to be submitting the answer sheet?
Orgo.
Orgel? Okay. So Orgel, go ahead and let Guillermo know which one that is.
The 172.
Okay. So let's just talk this through for a minute, all right? So I want you to think about what we have connected here, okay? So I want you to imagine that you're a network administrator and that your office is next door to the rack room or your router setup, or maybe even in there. And then your network that you built is on the 15th floor, okay? This is your in-band network, so make sure you label these. Well, if you're at your desk and you need to get into one of those racks, what you're doing is you're telling TerraTerm, I want you to go look at 172.16.0.20. So it's going to go back there and it's going to look at 172.16.0.10. Nope, this isn't the right one. Then it'll go 172.16.0.20. Oh, I'm in the right place. And then it's going to start, okay, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. It's going to start going down until it finds 2028 or whichever one you're on. Okay, then you're in that. So think of this almost like a phone call, right? Almost like a phone call. Once you're in that device, you start configuring them out of band. That's why you're using the 172, because you are not on these actual, you haven't built anything yet. They don't know anything until you tell them from the out of band connection. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Orgel?
These are in band, correct? And then we're out of band.
What's that?
These are in band.
When you've built this network like this and you've connected these all together, look at these addresses. Do you notice how they're all from the same network?
Yeah.
That's because they're all in band. They're all on the same network. They're in band. You are out here, out of band. You're, like I said, in the router room. Imagine that, again, these are employees on the 15th floor waiting for you to get their computers and their network built. Yeah. Well, you're actually not accessing them remotely. Just think about it. Remember, this cable is running. Yeah, so you're, again, that's why I want you to imagine you're sitting in there and you're the network administrator, you're configuring it, and your employees, maybe you have 2 new employees, they're on the 15th floor, their computers won't work until you have actually plugged into the devices, which we've already done, and got everything set up. Okay? Yeah. All right, so what are you going to put in there, Orgil? Okay, so you're on 2029. Okay.
Mine just told me I have connection issues.
Are you sure that's the right device? Okay. Okay, so why do both of you have a connection refused? Have either of you been in there already?
Yeah.
Oh, you've already been in there on TerraTerm.
Oh wait, no, on Terratem no.
Okay. That is totally different network unless you've unplugged something. Okay, so let's go look. Okay, take this. I want you to write everything down. Write down what your devices are. I want to see everything, the rack, the network address, and everything, okay? So then we'll go check everything and see what we got going on. Okay, so then we're also going to want to check to make sure that your consoles are plugged in and that you didn't unplug them and nobody else unplugged them. So we want to make notice that your consoles are on rack 3, 2, and 3. So we'll check that last, okay? Because if someone's unplugged those, that'll prevent your network from working. That'll prevent you. It won't stop your network from working. It'll prevent you from being able to use the console. So let's go look at everything. So let's go look at your network first. Is this your network right here? Okay. And let's see, so 2, and what are these? You need to get your racks, your jacks.
Mine's R23.
Write it here. So your PCB?
No, it should be PPA. I think you switched. Yeah, you got them mixed up.
Okay, so let's check that first. Now the trouble's with your console, so we're going to check everything, but we're going to look at your network first. All right. So let's see, you're on 2028 and 2024. Okay, so show me. Start from number 3. Just trace it out for me. 3 goes 2028, so, okay, 2028. Okay, 4. All right, that looks good. And your lights are green, and what about?
Green.
Yeah, so this looks good. So over here, we're fine. So now, plugged your consoles. Okay, so your consoles, because they need to see back here. As soon as you unplug like these, and you put these in, you've just taken these off of that GCC network, and you've built a little network. You've built this little network. So they're all by themselves right now in an in-band network, but your consoles still need to be plugged into this rack in order for your console connection to work. So let's go look at number 3. And we're going to make sure that nobody's unplugged you. So your number 3, what was it? What were your PCs for your console? R23. So this one, rack 2, oh no, your consoles. You're on row 3, rack 3. Were you on 2 and 3 or 3 and 4? See, these need to be plugged in because they're your consoles. And this is the way that they do that like telephone call thing, right? So they're going to get in here. Again, they don't care where they start. Wherever they start, they'll just go to rack 10 and they're going to say dot 10. Nope, this isn't the right one. Then they're going to go dot 20. Oh, this is the right one. So that's why we want to make sure these are connected, and they look good. So
Orga's R32 and I'm R33.
So yeah, so these are your consoles, and so we want to make sure these are plugged in, because like I was just explaining to Orgel, is these have to see this network. This is where that phone call kind of happens, right? It comes into here, and then it's going to say, okay, I have to find the right rack. 172.16.0.10? Nope. Okay, 172.16.0.20? Yes. And then it'll dial down. But we're good here. So you've been locked out for some other reason. I don't really know why. When you moved over to the console, were you in the VM first? Yeah. Okay. Sometimes if you move over too fast, it doesn't work. Is anybody else on 2? You're the only one on rack 2. Hold on just a sec. And you didn't flip back and forth or anything?
Not just when I had to switch it over.
I've used a few industry SSHs and whatnot, and they do kind of it instead of a password. It doesn't actually make you remember it. It's more secure. Because at that point you have like a 38 key password.
Okay. I'm just going to go over there and see.
That's a whole lot more secure than trying to remember each secure. I mean, a whole bunch of 49 keys can crack out like an 8 password. minutes.
What are they gonna do? Force,
Brute forcing. Every possible combination till it works.
right. It's also, I guess somebody put a limiter, only 10 and 10.
Now it looks like.
And they like change the passwords semi-regularly, you don't know. My dad bought a video stock, so
Which one were you on? 2028?
Yeah.
300% at that point. They sold. Now it's gone up somewhere. A whole new 1%.
I'll say around 30. But I was building a PC.
Okay, this is very strange. Try moving yours over.
That's a good game.
That's when it was coming out, and that's when I put all my,
Just for Cyberpunk to be conscious.
yes. Just like played it. But that's when the video stock was kind of around 60 bucks.
Yeah.
Nothing, huh?
I tried dropping my dad's buttons over.
Turn this computer on. Oh, I'm getting something. Go ahead and turn that computer on, just in case.
Third or fourth biggest company in the world right now.
Yeah, they went up like 1,000%.
With AI stuff. When you build it, was that 2021?
So
Yeah. I made the mistake of building mine.
2028 is clear. Which one are you on?
Things. So I ended up
Okay, hold on. Go back there.
3060. Yeah, I'm still pissed at myself for that.
Okay, why do you have that address in there? Yeah, take that out. Just obtain an IP address. Did you change yours too?
I changed it back to normal because mine was changed to the 192. I changed it back to the.
Okay. Yeah, this has to be automatic. It's out of band. You don't give it an IP address. There you go. Okay. No. Okay, is it back to normal now? Okay. And you're sure yours changed? Yeah, there it is. Okay. The console, you don't change the IP address. It's just the console. You just have to get back there. That's all it cares about.
Yeah. Then I don't know if I'll choose it because I can.
Okay, you're ready. You can leave that up just in case. Okay, so when you get to the MAC address tables, make sure you know where every MAC address comes from that you see in the table. Don't robot through this and just punch numbers, and look at everything and make sure you understand what the MAC address table is doing. Did you hear me? Daniel, Joey? You're going to make sure that you know what the MAC address table is doing? Okay. Caesar? Okay. Put your phone away. Yes. Wow.
I did this, I'm assuming I made a mistake.
Did you try Cisco with a space at the end? Class with a space at the end?
That's what we use in all the other guys. I tried caps lock. I tried.
Because it's turned on right now. No, caps lock is on. Try regular Cisco. My advice is that we write your name on the board and you change switches.
Okay.
Yeah, just go change it to a different switch, recable. Yeah,
Okay, let's go
rechange it. So
recable
what
at
are
the
you on right now? Which one?
21.
So
Brack 2, 2021.
BRAC 2, 2021. When you're done with the lab, you can reset that. I'll walk you through it.
How many switch has a switch added additional MAC addresses? If so, which addresses and devices? I am 90% certain we already had an F18. Yeah, we already had an F18. So it's E0. Hold on. It's we already have EB. It's the same MAC address now. 0019. We already have that. It says 20019. Ooh. Ooh, yeah, it is the same. PCB open command prompt and retype part. I'll see you in about 3 minutes. Open a command prompt and retype ARP A. Does the PCB ARP cache have additional entries for all network devices that were sent home?
Here's the same shit. Right?
Oh, wait, I got one. I already got a session. So I already had a session open on the phone. So I was like, hey.
I see the light on.
I was about to say why it is. It closed.
PCB cache have an image for all the network devices. There's the home coordinate. What would a broadcast MAC address be? That's the full Fs, right? The one with the full Fs. Don't have the top of my head. Can you have broadcasts at the layer 2 level? Do you see any broadcast addresses that show MAC address I can pull out? I'm on it right now.
Oh, yeah.
But this one, remember it said disregard all the ones that are CPU, because these are all ones that are not actually CPU ports. Right? Well, okay, I mean, it's asked.
Yes.
For one of the reflection questions, it's asking if see any of the addresses that are broadcasting,
Uh-huh.
which I was saying, because we saw this one down here, right?
Uh-huh.
What I was saying, because it's all CPU, and it earlier said to disregard all the with the CPU ports.
Okay.
There wouldn't be, right?
Gabby?
She asked me. I don't know.
I think there is one. Well, it shows one, right?
Well, can a switch broadcast? Okay, and can you verify that it can broadcast by looking at that?
Yeah.
Okay, and earlier when it said ignore the CPU, that was probably relevant to that particular task that you were doing.
Yeah. Not this particular task.
That's the way I would take it. So let's see have you identified where all of these MAC addresses are coming from? Well, forget about the question, just as a team, if you work together to figure out where all those are coming from?
Yeah, it was
The
from.
first one is PCA.
This one should be PCB, and then I can't remember which one was switch 1 and 2.
This one's PCB? I don't think so. Are you on switch 2?
Yeah, this is switch 2. I Am I confused? Because I had both switches open at one point. So just because we opened both on this one.
Yeah,
so
that's
that
good.
we wouldn't have to copy over or do some weird.
Yeah, that's the right way to do it, is to,
I'm not.
Is that PCB?
which one?
This one? The bottom one?
Is it? Just look at it. Go look at it. Look at the MAC address on PCB.
You have them. You have them all. You took that picture. Cheat sheet.
How about you?
This is PCB.
Yeah, and how could you have told that too?
The port is connected.
Yeah, the port's connected to it. So what this is telling us is that on F18, it learned about this MAC address. Now what are these other ones, like 0640, 0601? Where's that coming from?
064.
Find those and I'll be back in a minute. I want to know where those are coming from. Yes.
What? I don't really understand the question here.
Okay.
Is it just saying, like, what ports are showing a MAC address? Or what is
What's the question?
It says what MAC addresses are recorded in the table. So my answer is going to be,
Tell you the device. Devices really.
Yeah, I mean, it wants to know, like, what, so we see like 0, 1, 5, blah, 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 right? And then, so what MAC address is it and what device is that? Yeah.
F01.
Right, so you want to make sure you can tell where did each of these MAC addresses come from. So you can see here that F01 learned about this MAC address, 0015 5D44 8400, right? So what does that match up to? Where did that MAC address come from?
Well, F01 is coming from switch 2, switch 1.
The 84, I'm talking about the 8400, I guess. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, this switch. This is our PC.
Our PCA is.
Scroll down a little bit.
Did you write down what your PCA was? Yeah, so 8, 4, yeah. So let's just, if we look at this, right?
Yeah.
So that came from PCA, and what are we looking at? Which switch?
That is.
We're looking at switch 2 right now. The table.
Okay, so if you think of PCA, it comes into F06, it goes across, and then it comes into F01, and that's why F01 has learned about PCA, right? So you want,
How do you know?
yeah, no,
I'm confused on which switch is going to be for PCA. Like, how do I? So 8400 is PCA.
Mm-hmm.
But how do I know which entry point is that MAC address? How do I know if it's switch 1 or switch 2?
Well, we're on switch 2 over here, right?
Oh, okay.
So we're on switch 2, and if we look at this, so one way to think about, the way that I kind of do this is I look at the topology first, and I'm like, okay, what MAC addresses should I expect to see on switch 2? Well, I should expect to see PCA because it's going to go up and it's going to go inside and it's going to get learned, right? Okay. I should expect to see the interface MAC address from F01 because that's going to cross over. And then if you did a ping from VLAN 1 to VLAN 1 and cross here, I should also see VLAN 1. So over here, I'm expecting to see at least those 3 MAC addresses on switch 2. Then I look and see, do I find those? Same way with PCB on switch 2.
You're actually looking at switch 2 over here. This is
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's all of switch 2's MAC address.
Yeah.
MAC address table.
Yeah, and so like what you might want to do is exit out of this one and bring it up over there and then put them side by side, like switch 1, switch 2, because then you can kind of visualize it, you know? Yeah. So if you exit out of here, like no, type exit, because you got to be able to get in there. So then do file disconnect. And now you can get in there. And if you put them kind of like set them up the way your topology is, Matt, switch 1, switch 2, then it'll make it make sense. Did you track them down?
Not yet.
Not yet. Let's see, what interface are you looking at right now?
Switch to.
Switch, are you looking at the interface
I was looking at the interface.
of which one though?
Switch to.
I know, but F01, interface VLAN 1, what are you looking at?
F01.
F01, okay. Did you find it in there?
I found this, but that's not showing in our team.
It's not showing in the table. Well, which switch is this?
2.
So
it's
go
not
look
gonna
at,
show us
it's going to show up in 1, right? Where's your topology?
Yeah, that's switch 1, but then switch 2 doesn't.
So what I was just like explaining, what I do is I kind of think about, well, what am I expecting to see? So if PCA pings B, right? So as PCA goes up and over, right, switch 2, I'm going to see the MAC address for PCA. Well, also because it's going across here, in this MAC address table, I'm going to see the interface for F01. And then if you did pings with your VLANs, we're also going to see interface VLAN 1's MAC address in here. So we should see at least 3 MAC addresses coming this direction, and then we're going to see that MAC address. So we should see at least 4 MAC addresses in switch 2 and 4 MAC addresses in switch 1. So see if that helps you identify them.
It was originally 4 earlier when we did.
Yeah, and it might have been, and they start to clear out after 5 minutes. You know, they'll start clearing. So you might have to do a couple pings again to get your pings going. And you can ping from the switches. Okay.
So do we put it at it? What are you pulling off?
I think they all.
Yeah. I mean, do it one more time.
Is that helping?
I think I'm still lost, but
Here, let's look at it and see if we can figure it out. Let me get in here a little bit.
I'm just confused what exactly the question is asking. But I think the way we're doing it is that's what I was saying.
Yeah, so are there MAC addresses recorded? Yes. What MAC addresses are recorded in the table? So you could start by just putting the MAC addresses in there, and then if it's switch 1, is it F01? Is it interface VLAN 1? Like, where is that MAC address coming from?
Okay.
So let's pull, let's put it switch 1 up here. Okay. And let's see, where's that topology? Sometimes it helps if you just write it out too on the actual thing. So PCA, what's the MAC address for PCA?
8400.
Okay, so let's see, there's that one, right? Okay, and then let's see, look at interface F01. Do a show interface F01. Okay, and so 9401, there's 9401, right? And see, remember, it records based on where it learned it from. So as it comes in, it learns it. So it says, okay, hey, on port F01, my port, switch 2's port F01, I learned about 9401. Let's do a show interface VLAN 1. Okay, and let's see, 9440. So that's not in there, so let's do a ping. And let's ping 192.168.1.12. Okay, perfect. Now let's do an up arrow. There you go. So let's add another MAC address table. And anytime something comes
So
in
isn't
there.
the answer going to be the whole network,
Yeah,
essentially?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. See what I mean? So you want to make sure you know how to trace this, because this is going to tell you if you don't have access to the PCs, you'd be able to figure out the IP addresses if we had access to ARP, right? Okay.
Okay.
Five is the PC.
How's it going over here?
It's going.
Able to map out the MAC addresses?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not. What do you mean? We haven't done a map. What do you mean?
Well, that's kind of what this question is asking. What MAC addresses are...
Okay. Did we not do it right?
No, I don't know. I can't read that far. I'm just asking if you were able to map them out.
Okay, well, we had
So like, for example, do
we
you
have
know...
PCA here and PCB right here.
Okay, so
And
where...
then, the other one that we had on here was C4.
That one should be.
This one right here is switch 1.
Okay.
And then.
And
we
is
were
it switch 1's F01?
Yeah, because switch 1 is
Yeah,
here also.
like if you do a show interface F01
Oh, we
on
timed
switch
out,
1,
dude. That one timed out. We had that one.
enable.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you were saying.
Yeah.
What do you need now?
So let's see, do a show interface
Okay, so
F01.
That one's going to show you switch 2s though, since this is switch 1.
So,
Oh, we're in switch 1 right now. Though.
yeah, this is switch 1, so there's that 3981. So let's go look over here at the MAC address table.
That's right down here.
And there it is. So see, it learned anything that comes into that, it's learning that. Yeah. So you just want to make sure that you can tell like where these are coming from. Do you know where they're coming from? How's it going? Oh, okay. The OUI? How's it going?
Discussion.
Yeah, good.
So the way that you explain it, I'm trying to understand. All the things that one of these that we're getting, which we keep not accounting for, has to be the VLAN, right? Of one of these.
It probably is the VLAN, yeah.
Because that's.
Did you ping the VLANs? Here, let's ping one and try it. So go on like switch 1. Go to switch 1 and ping switch 2's VLAN address. No, you can go from there. Ping. Yep. All right, so now let's come here and do another show MAC address table. And I bet you see a new MAC address. Okay, and then let's go do here show interface VLAN 1 so we can see what the MAC address is. Let's see, 0640, 0640. Yeah,
Okay, so it was. So that's the ones that we were missing then.
and it will even see, like, back to the GCC side and do an IP config all, it'll even see that device. Okay, so let's see. Minimize this for a second, the VM. Just minimize it, and let's see if we can pull up a command prompt on our GCC computer. Okay, do an IP config all. And let's see, go up a little bit. So there, is that it? A4BB?
Oh my god.
Yeah, see, like that's how smart it is, right? It's exciting, isn't it?
So that's why we couldn't see it because we were like, oh, we're looking at
Yeah, it's because it's like can tell the difference VM and that the VM is actually working on top of this desktop. Very exciting, huh? So that's important to know because there's so much happening right now in the workforce on virtual machines. Well, if you don't know that in the background is still an actual machine, you might not know where to troubleshoot. Yeah.
Console. Okay, so I just show interface.
You finding everything?
Yeah, we had to reping everything though. It
Yeah.
took us a second to figure that one
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, and it'll age out too, like after a little bit of time, right?
What is the setting on these? Is it still like the same 45 seconds? Or?
No, usually the MAC address table is 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're trying to answer this. And I think
Oh.
he had an answer, but I
Oh,
don't. I
let's
don't,
see.
I'm
Can you
not-
read? I can't read that far away.
If you had previously recorded MAC addresses at the network step 1, how could you tell which devices the MAC addresses belong to using only the output from the show MAC address table command?
What did you say?
Because you know you're on switch 2, you know only that switch 1 and PCA can come from F01 and that only
Well, I think his
PCB
first
can
answer was
come
he said we could use our topology.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So that's okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can use the topology. Now, we don't have a router in here, right? And so we don't necessarily have the ARP. But what if you were to go onto your PC and do a show ARP? You know?
Okay.
So, and you may not have access to the PC because this
Well,
is saying
yeah,
that you
this one
don't.
just said,
Yeah.
just use that.
Yeah, but there's a couple of different ways. You can use your topology. You can go look at the cabling. If you have access to a PC, the ARP-A is really helpful. So there's a couple things. Yeah, a couple different ways to answer that.
Topology, checking your cables.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. This is you over here, right? I'm going to do an ARP-A in here. Let's see. I might need to do a new 192.168.1.11. 1.11 is that one plans your PC. There we go. Let's see. So there's our 192.168.1.11. So yeah, there's a couple different ways, right?
That's a great question.
Yes. Oh. Well, let me help you. No, it's not. It doesn't have its own. Exactly. Okay, so minimize your VM for a second. Just minimize it. And pull up your config, your command prompt, and do an IP config all. And scroll up a little bit and look at that, A4BB. So the switch is smart enough that not only is it learning about the VM's MAC address.
So it's doing both.
Yes. This is an important troubleshooting thing because a lot of times now we're using VMs in the workforce, right? And so you might be trying to troubleshoot something and you're working on the VM, not realizing that the trouble's happening on your hardware, on your desktop. So,
Why would
yeah.
it be F01? Why wouldn't it, because I understand F018. Shouldn't it be F01 and F0
So,
ports?
okay, so which one are we looking at? Switch 2?
Bottom two, yeah.
Okay, so switch 2, F0, yeah. So F18, this is PCB, or P, yes, and then the other one is F01. PCBs, sorry, I keep forgetting our networks are
Gotcha.
somewhere else.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, all right.
Yep.
So it's coming into switch 2.
yeah,
So PCA is coming into switch 2, so that's why I'm seeing
yeah. So we'd have to go, where's
Even
your
though-
network at?
it's in the back over here.
Yeah, so we'd have to go
So
look at,
technically, it's so that's why I don't understand. I don't why does it record because that's what's coming into the switch.
Yeah,
I just don't understand why
this-
it wouldn't show F06.
because it doesn't know about that. It has no idea. The port can only see what it's directly connected to. The switch can only see what it's directly connected to.
So-
And then the port wraps up the frame and says, okay, I'm going to push it out. So all this device sees is F01.
So if there was 10 computers here, it wouldn't know F01
You
from
would-
all those.
You would literally see 20 devices all connected to F01.
Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And
So
this also happens when you have like wireless devices. They're all being learned
how do
on
you
one.
keep track of all
It's
this?
very difficult. It's very difficult. Yeah.
Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, it's not seeing the consoles, but if you were to go back there, you'd see that A4BB thing on your PCA and B. Yeah, I just had you minimize it here so you
this-
could see.
So we would say this is our physical connection to the switch. I mean, how do you even word that? Like, what is it?
For the A4BB?
Yeah. I mean, I
Okay,
understand what it is,
so
but how do you
it's
word what?
it's the desktop. It's the desktop for PCA where the VM
Okay.
lives. It's the desktop for PCA where it's the desktop for PCA where the VM is living. So there's the desktop and the VM lives inside there, right? It's living inside there.
Oh, it's just 'cause it would show this. I think that's in the VLAN, though, that's why. You gotta get out of the VLAN, or out of the, minimize it. You're seeing that map, you guys.
Anyway, what is that done?
What?
We're kind of confused by this question, like as a whole. Like, I mean, like, using only this, nothing else.
Yes.
How do we figure out what each of these are?
Yeah, so how could you figure it out? Maybe if you had your topology and you had a MAC address.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
You can
so
use the
just-
topology, yeah.
okay. How the question was phrased, like you didn't have that, you just had that.
Yeah.
Okay,
More than anything, it's like if you didn't have access to the PCs,
okay.
right? If you didn't have access to the PCs. All right, so what's happening over here?
We're on the Mac address switch.
Okay. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you can tell where every one of the MAC addresses are coming from. No, not those. Not those. Hit the space bar. All of those. And also, so do a show ARP.
IP ARP.
ARP. Oh, maybe you might have to do show IP ARP.
Oh, no, there we go.
So that's helpful too. Okay, so you want to make sure that you know where each of these are coming from.
Would the first one, FA01, be here or no? Does it come from switch one? Or am I completely wrong in thinking?
Okay, so let's see, where's your switch 2? So why don't you get out of switch 2? Okay, no, type exit. Don't ever just click out and then do file disconnect on the file disconnect. Okay, and then why don't you bring it up over here side by side. Do switch 1 here and switch 2 here so you can look at them together. Okay. Okay, so do a show MAC address table. Okay, and then switch 1 over here and switch 2 over there. So kind of MAC topology. Okay, just hit enter. And then up arrow and enter. Okay. So the way I about this is, remember, the switches learn about MAC addresses whenever something comes into it, right? So on switch 1, you're going to see F06, so find switch 1 and F06, and there's a MAC address. So that MAC address probably belongs to PCA. So can you verify that? Yeah, I think it had you record the MAC address for PCA at some point in the lab. Did you go get that?
The picture? Or you could just scroll up.
Did you get the picture? Yeah, so you probably, okay. So what's the MAC address for PCA?
That's a serial.
D8, okay, so there that is, right? Okay, now let's just keep watching. If we did the ping, 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 it's going to come across, right? Now remember, it learns when it goes into it. So now on switch 2, if you look for F01, it will have learned about PCA 30D8 on F01 because that's where it came in, okay? Now, what else would it have learned about? Because as it crosses over this interface, whenever something comes into it, it learns about it. So you're probably, it's going to pick up that one. So let's do a show interface F01. Okay. Now 1B81. Look here, 1B81. So it's telling you that on F01, it learned about 1B81, which came from over here. Okay, now let's do a ping from here. So do a ping. And ping 192.168.1.12. Okay. Now let's do a show interface VLAN 1. then let's do an up arrow here and look at the MAC address table again. And let's see if we find 1BC0, 1BC0. Because now from here you did a ping, right? So it comes across and it goes in. So this MAC address table is going to also learn about the MAC address for VLAN 1. Okay, so literally anything that comes into it, it learns about it and it records it. And then it says, okay, on F01, I learned about this address. On F01, I learned about this address. On F01, I learned about this address. And the same is for F18. PCB, as the ping came in, it recorded it, F18, and it learned 2A00. So like if you were to look at the recording, I bet you have PCB ends in 2A00.
So when it enters, it records it, right?
Every time it enters, anything that enters it, it records it.
So it enters here and then records this one. And
Yep.
when they ping this one, it records this one, this one.
Well, it records this one and this one.
Okay.
It actually doesn't record F06 because it's not passing any information because it's not directly connected to it and it didn't package a frame. What happened, the reason it records PCA is because once it gets to F01, it packages up that frame and sends it across.
Okay, and so then this one would run. No, wait. So it would go through here, then pass this one along,
Yep.
then pass this one along to there.
No, it passes, okay, so anything that comes into it learns it, right? So this one is going to learn about this one because it's coming in. Now, if PCA is trying to ping to PCB, it's going to go doot, 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 and then it's going to cross over and it's going to come into F01, so it's going to record it.
Okay.
PCB receives the ping. The ping is going to respond. It's going to ping back. It's going to say, okay, so it goes up, 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 up. This PCB's MAC address will be recorded in switch 2 as it comes in, and then it's going to send it across. And now this F01 on switch 1 is going to learn about PCB, and it's going to learn about the interface F01 because it's sending it into the switch. It's going to come down and communicate. Anytime something comes in.
Okay. That's a little bit more sense.
Okay.
Yes, I did that. Yeah.
And a troubleshooter. Huh? No.
But they're all multis. They're all the same. Oh, so the answer is none.
What's the question?
I don't know. This is hard. Multicast or broadcast addresses. How many device IP to MAC address pairs have been learned by ARP? So you have a multi, or you have a broadcast. 1005E.
Those are all multicast, yeah.
So the answer is 0.
Did you do an ARP on your network?
Yeah.
And it
Back-
there were
this
not.
This is from PCB, like it's saying.
Oh, so it might have aged out. You might need to do a ping.
To the switches?
Anywhere. So ARP ages out.
Right, after 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's go check it. Let's just do a ping and then see what it does.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, just for communication. Any communication.
That's from PCA anyway. You want to do PCB?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
You
matter?
can do both. I mean, just do it here and then there.
Okay.
And you can even do a show ARP on your switches, and it will give you some information. It's not, ARP's not really functioning at the switch, but it can see that.
Oh, you're on the. This is getting so trippy. Like 2 days. Like, what's going on? Why is it not working?
And then like ping PCB too. And then let's do an ARP-A. Yeah, like just get some communication going and then your ARP table will fill up again. What? Oh.
Fucking Ozzy. No. Dang it, wrong one.
Control Shift C. Okay, so then let's do an ARP. And I bet you see some. 1.
Yeah, 1. There you go. Which is PCA.
And he has a couple more because he pinged them all. Yeah. So
So I guess.
whatever, it depends how many you ping, right?
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I think that's really the only that we sort of have to do that on smaller networks as well.
Well,
It's
okay,
just a
what
problem with
is,
bigger networks.
yeah, what are some challenges?
Start assignment.
What's that? Well, the other people sell them. There's 2 different departments in the store. Who sells cars and who buys cars. So if you want to sell your car, you would talk to me.
How did it fit?
If you want to sell automation.
Oh.
Yeah, it's both.
Yeah.
Okay, so ping switch 1, switch 2. Yours wired with PCA. Ping switch 1, switch 2. Well, I mean, the answer's gonna be yes, right?
Should be yes.
You weren't kidding, it's gonna be a long time. Geez, 8:30. I think we would know by now if it wasn't successful.
actually doing is the pace of the lab would it be yes? Is there anything new on the MAC address table?
Okay, I'm sorry. What's the question?
Because it's asking if there's anything new on the MAC address table of switch 2.
After doing what? Did it have you do a
After
ping?
pinging PCA switch 1, switch 2.
Okay, you should see something new. Because and I mean, we already did the ping between the switches, so you might not see anything new. But if it was the first time, if you went to
The answer
PC,
should be
like
yes.
if you went to PCA and you pinged switch 1's VLAN 1 and switch 2's VLAN 1 for the first time, you'd be seeing that. Yeah, we did a little bit of stuff ahead of time, but yeah. So, because it would be the first time that it's coming into that switch. I'll take that, and then you can put that away in the cabinet.
Switch wouldn't have added anything. Is it saying switch? I don't know why it's saying, okay, so that's a different part. It just says has the switch added wait, added? Okay, that's the same question, never mind.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, it would have added interface VLAN 1's MAC address, right? So here, let's look at the topology. Always hand that topology to me. So if we always look at this, so let's say we're on PCB or whatever, and we ping interface VLAN 1, right? So F18 will have learned about this MAC address, right? But it would also have recorded the VLAN 1's MAC address,
Gotcha.
right? Now, again, we pinged between here and here when we were playing around, but they're just telling you to generate it by doing a ping from the PCs. But you can do it from the switches, doesn't matter where.
Yeah, I can. I got a U1, but I don't see. We're all the way out. This.
You're saying for putting that, what it's not showing you? Here it is right here.
So the question is,
So if you would ping PCA. But wouldn't the VLAN already be recorded because the switches are talking to each other? Wouldn't it be the same thing if we pinged PCA? So the answer would be no.
Okay,
am I not
wait.
thinking that right?
Let's look at the topology again. So F01, interface F01 is talking to interface F01. So
Right.
these two are talking to each other. But interface VLAN 1 has an IP address on it. So until you ping it, there's no conversation between interface VLAN 1.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's where pinging, so if we're in PCB pinging PCA, that's where VLAN, no.
No, you don't.
So if
You won't see the VLANs recorded, the interface VLAN MAC addresses recorded until there's conversation between them.
Okay.
And we had to do a ping to generate that conversation.
So pinging PCA would show us.
Yeah. Yeah, so or pinging, like when we were sitting here earlier, we pinged between interface VLAN 1 using the switches. You can use the PCs, you can use the switches, it doesn't matter, but that's generating the conversation. So now, interface VLAN 1, just like interface F01 is its own interface and it has its own MAC address, Interface VLAN 1 has its own MAC address, but there was no conversation until we did the ping. F01 and F01, they're directly connected, so they don't, you're right, they're just automatically talking because they're like, are you there, are you there, are you there? But interface VLAN 1, they have to use the IP addresses. Yeah, they're a little different. They're functioning more at layer 3 because they have an IP address. Yeah, so they're a little bit different. Yeah, they're only going to talk when they're spoken to. They're only going to speak when they're spoken to. Yes. Yeah, each interface has its own little software program that's in it.
We do have it right there.
Yeah. Yep.
Quick question,
Yes.
because I scrolled down for Sunday, for the exam that's coming up, is there going to be packet tracers within that one?
Probably.
Okay. So I should probably go home and update my packet tracer then.
Yeah, you'll need to do that. Yes, that one's at home.
Yeah, the packet tracer. Because I remember the packet tracer was giving me issues on the VM. Remember? I had to install the new one.
Yeah, you'll have to have the new one.
Yeah, no, that's such a weird bug with the VM because all the other computers are only using 50% of the memory.
Is it all VMs?
I didn't load into the VM on this one. I just loaded it. I'm looking at it from like the main computer because I logged out of the VM. I can check the VM though really quickly.
Yeah, do that. I'm curious.
Because the normal settings of the VM allocate 4 gigabytes, I think. So it still shouldn't crash your VM or computer. You should still have 2 or 3 gigabytes, maybe 4 for background stuff. Yeah, 4. You should have 4. Okay, so the VM just running uses like 70%, but like on this one it's actually stable. So, excuse me. Yeah, so when the computer is running fine, the host computer is only using 75% of the memory.
Okay, so when the host computer is running fine, the VM is only using 70%,
Yeah.
which actually I think is pretty high, but okay.
It's back down to 50. I guess the 70% was just the startup.
Yeah.
But
So we think, or what your hypothesis is there's something going on with the desktop, with the host machine, and that's preventing the VM from being able to get enough, because the host machine is using so many resources, there's not enough for the VM.
yeah, some issue is happening where when it might be like incorrectly configured because off the rip the VMs are configured for 4 gigs,
Right.
which is pretty standard because that's how much you need to run Windows, like base Windows anyway. And with 16 gigs, like right now, it should be running just fine.
Just
as
fine.
It's running just fine on this one.
Yeah.
So there might be something like an error or it's just something else that's running in the background. I don't know why. I can't. Gabby was saying that she just didn't touch that computer that was like that because it doesn't respond anyway. So
We might have to open a ticket on it.
yeah. Like it spikes a little bit when it's running, but like it's nothing crazy like for the VM considering what the VM is doing. So.
Did you reset your devices already, or is
Yeah,
that what you're doing right now?
We reset the devices.
And then did you unplug your cables? And then did you reset your IP addresses, even on the laptop? Good job. So what do you think? Did you learn a lot?
Definitely remembered a lot of it because I wasn't here for the one lab that we did where some of the stuff went over, so I was sloppy a bit on some of it, but like commands are back pretty much.
Good.
Like once I started typing, Gabby was like, "Let me type because it feels like you're typing everything." I'm like, "Well, it's just simple." Once we're done with this stuff,
There's a frogger and a troubleshooter.
already did the Frogger. The troubleshooter I will do when I get home because I have that.
You don't have it here?
To
Yeah, you'll do it here because class isn't over yet. 8:35. Don't put off to tomorrow what you can do tonight. Uh-huh. I can come stand over your shoulder.
do I have it installed on this thing?
Good job.
Yeah, we finished a lot.
Exactly. And then I'll have you guys reset that switch.
Downloading packages.
Perfect. Nicely done. Okay. It'll take two of you. Well, not exactly. It won't take you both. So here's the directions. Okay. So you're going to have a terminal connection open. You're going to have your console open. This is for the switch, using TerraTerm or the other emulator. So you're going to unplug the switch, which is in the back. Just unplug it. Hold down the mode key, which I'll show you what the mode key is. Yep, that's the mode key. right? So you unplug the switch, hold down the mode button, located on the left side of the front panel, while you reconnect the power. Then you plug it back in, right? When the system LED blinks amber and then turns solid green, release it. And then it's going to blink really fast, and then we're going to go do these things.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll tell them to.
So let's pull up, we'll open up a console.
So, I don't know if will I need to stop doing the first part in there, or
One of you can do it.
do you want to do it, or?
Yeah, I could do it. So, senior establish, terminal connection.
So we want to get a terminal, a console open for it.
Unplug the switch power cable.
Which is back there.
Right. Hold down mode button.
I can show you if you need,
Yeah, you'll go back there with them. And then you'll come back up here with this and we'll do those commands. We got to go into Raman. So basically we have to reboot it so that it goes through the boot process and it finds the configuration, the startup configuration from the bin files.
Okay.
Okay, because we didn't change the
Oh,
running config in this lab.
you know what? Let's just go unplug it and plug it back in.
We didn't
Because
change
you
the
never did a
boot.
copy run start, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
not for
we
this
never
lab.
did that.
Let's just try unplugging it and plugging it back in. Don't even hold the mode button down. So let's try that first.
Where is the, is this like in the back?
It's in the back. What number is it? What was your device ID? Yeah, so let's see. And what rack are you on? Okay, so it's going to be over here.
Over there?
Yeah,
Oh,
backside.
makes sense.
But you got to know which one it is.
It's really nice racks.
So which one was it?
21.
Yeah, but you got to look in the front. I don't know where it is.
The very top.
It is the very topmost.
The topmost switch.
No.
Top.
So you've got 3 routers and 3 switches. So is it
Topmost switch.
switch? Okay. So you know which one it is?
It's going to be this one.
Yeah. So just
Unplug this.
yep. So just unplug it. Let's leave it unplugged for about 4 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds, and then plug it back in. We might get lucky.
Might get lucky.
We might get lucky, yeah, because you didn't do the copy run start. So
Do we plug in the cable 5 into the switch? The PC?
Just power.
no.
Just unplugging it, plugging it back in.
Yeah, no, because you're already plugged into the console.
I'll go uncable things.
Oh, here, let's come. So here, come here. Let me walk you through. So,
Oh, yeah, we are.
right, this is your console, not your network, right?
Right.
So, wait a second. Where's your? Yeah. No. Halt. Okay, where's your network? On
Right
2.
now?
Okay, we're good. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So we should be good. Now let's go check it and see if you can get into it.
All right.
Yeah. See how it's going through.
System.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we get those 2 lights again, we're good to go.
Okay. And I'm good to like uncable everything.
Yeah, you're good to uncable everything.
I haven't done anything over on yours.
I'm in yours.
Even I get it getting messed up.
Oh, wait,
So 2021. Now it might take a few minutes. Oh, there we go. Nice. Okay. Let's give it a second.
Is it doing the whole boot thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're gonna be okay here. As long as when it's done, you see switch and not your switch name, that means it was rebooted and it went back to the original default startup config.
Hey, Professor, do I need to put names on this slab, like the 7.5 and
No, you don't need to. As long as
Their names are on the
Yeah, as long as it's on there. No, you don't need to. I'll know. It'll link to me. It'll link it to you. Type no. Yes.
There we go. All right. So
I
everything.
think we didn't have to go all those steps.
Put this back.
You really dodged a bullet.
All right.
Okay, now we're cooking.
I don't even need to check it as long as you really do it.
My thing isn't responding. Why isn't it responding?
What's that? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Show run. Show run.
And there's a troubleshooter in there too. That's and there's a troubleshooter. I know. Well, I didn't think it would take this long to finish the lab, to be quite honest with you. Well, that's why I had us do it consecutively. You know, my Monday, Wednesday class, they finished an hour before class ended, so I thought we would finish an hour before class ended. We did. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Did you get it? Nice job. Did you do the Frogger? Get out of here. Whose is this? Theirs? Okay.
They're supposed to be like not even Google on their computer.
Huh? Oh, I hate this. Yeah. Can we just get out of that?
Good. Oh, there we go. Now it wants to. Okay, that was really weird.
Yeah.
I hate Edge with passion.
Yeah. Matt, are you all resetting? I'm going to reset your IPs, okay? but the Frogger doesn't like VM. Are you in the VM? No. For the troubleshooter, yeah. I just moved it over to the other red cable, the other red jack. The troubleshooter? Is that what you're talking about, Daniel? No, I'm gonna,
I logged out as VM, so I went on my laptop. My laptop said it wouldn't let me allow me to download that. So
that's weird. Well, I'm gonna move the date out. I just wanted everyone to see it. So if you don't feel like you wanna jump in there, you don't have to. I'm gonna change the, you do have to do it, but I'm gonna change the due date.
on both of these,
Not the Frogger, but on the troubleshooter.
so the Frogger's due tonight.
The Frogger's
So I
due
should
tonight.
do that first.
Yeah, do the Frogger first.
Okay.
And don't do that. You don't have to go into the V.
Troubleshooter at home?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna change. I mean, if it,
Well, wait a minute. No, it wouldn't let me in.
I don't know why it won't let you in. You've got packet tracer on there, right? And have you been able to do packet tracers on there before?
Yes.
Well, that's weird.
So, when I go here,
Yeah. Are you connected to the network? Yeah.
so again, I click on this. But it's not doing that.
That's so strange.
Before it was. Yeah, it keeps telling me up here that it's blocking the download.
Oh, so do you have a firewall on or something?
No, it never.
Pop-up
it
blocker?
It doesn't do it at home. It's doing
Oh,
it here.
okay, because you're on our secure network. Okay. Yeah, no, you can do it at home.
So those are done. You said you finished them?
I did. How's it going? Did you get it turned in?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. So there's a Frogger in there, so get the Frogger done. There's also a troubleshooter that's due tonight, but I'm gonna change the due date. I'm gonna add a few days on it so you don't have to feel pressure to do it tonight, but make sure you do it, okay? But do the Frogger. Okay? Oops, sorry. So before you go, do the Frogger, and I'm going to extend the due date on the troubleshooter so you don't feel pressure to do it tonight. Okay? Did you change the IP addresses? Perfect. I closed it.
Oh, no, I mean,
Oh, it just happens. It'll come back in a little minute. If you don't finish the troubleshooter, I'm going to extend the due date.
Oh, let's do it.
Okay, yeah, so if you, it's not a super hard one, so if you get it done.
home, it's not gonna get done.
Exactly.
redo it. You know, you definitely can't redo it. No, you can't.
Thank you. Yes, yeah.
When is that other assignment going to be, like tomorrow, maybe?
What do you want to do?
I don't know, I was just curious if you put it in there.
No, but I will. What do you want? When do you want to do?
Well, let me look at the calendar and see what's
Maybe Sunday night? Does that give everybody enough time?
Is it just another one of the like?
It's a troubleshooter. Yeah,
Oh, I thought you were just giving us.
it's a troubleshooter like find. It tells you to find, I think, something. Find the MAC address or the IP address. So we could do it Sunday night.
Tomorrow's got a couple of deep things. There's another fraud tomorrow. And 2 crosswords tomorrow. And then an exam on Saturday.
So Sunday night? Monday night?
I don't know. I've got a busy weekend, so all my stuff might be late.
Do it tonight? Whatever. Whenever you want to do it.
I'm probably gonna be on the
I know, right? I could not believe the rain today.
And I was supposed to take my car in today, so I'm like, great, I gotta have one of those
Oh,
class tonight.
no. And it was raining just a little bit ago.
Right, yeah, so but then my lady got the shop, so I mean, what's at the Austin was cold. Our car's at the shop.
Right.
And they called me today and said, well, no, it's, but why was it here? I was like, the check engine light was on. He's like, yeah, well, our tech can't, it's not on. And what was the symptom? And so I told him, and he called me back later. He said, also our tech found reading cylinders, so we think we need to replace the whole engine. I was like,
What?
you went from no check engine light to replacing the whole engine. I was like, wow.
Are you going to get a second opinion?
No, because I bought a Ford and I got the Ford employee price, or Ford employee
Warranty? Yeah.
So it covers my whole car.
Oh, thank goodness.
For $100,000.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just the drive, it's the whole thing. So every time I've taken it in, they're like, oh, you got to leave it here for like 2 weeks till we get it approved. So today I was kind of stressing out. He's like, no, we'll make it happen. But he's got to get a second
Wow.
opinion from the warranty company. Has to come in and verify that that's the problem.
Oh, good.
Approve it, and then they'll get me a loan.
Wow.
So I'll be riding the motorcycle for a little while.
Well, at least until today, the weather's been amazing for that, you know.
I know, right?
It's cool enough without being freezing, unless it's, I mean, at night it's kind of cold, yeah.
We go out Friday mornings. It's pretty cold in the morning.
Yeah.
It'll be warming up. Yeah, I got family coming down for biking and stuff. So.
I was kind of surprised it rained.
Yeah.
I was surprised it rained too.
Rain out of my house.
Yes, yeah, me too, a boatload of rain. Okay. Okay, so remember everybody, have a good time over spring break, but not so good that you don't do Module 13 and get ready for Module 8 and 10. The rest of the semester is going to go by really fast. Like, Module 13. Yeah, we're skipping because Module 13 's short and not very difficult, and that's what I assigned over spring break. That's over week 9, out of class activities.
I fixed it.
Nothing on spring break? Are you looking at the right calendar?
It might not be posted to the actual like.
Let me go look.
Because in the modules they show up.
Did you look at modules? Look at modules.
Yeah, in the modules it should show up.
That-
A lot of that is actually.
I agree, yeah. Well, look at modules just to make sure. Again, what I see and what you all see is different, but you should see full stuff on week 9. What? It's not really 2 weeks. It's not a full 2 weeks. It's like 9 days. Okay. We're in week 8 right now, so I'm looking. Did other people see stuff in week 9? Out of class. So you should see to do the reading. I don't know why you don't see anything. Yeah, there's lots of assignments due during spring break.
on your calendar, dude. That's what I was just trying
Yeah, I don't know why you're not seeing stuff. There is stuff due.
It's not on the calendar, why?
Yeah, everything says everything beyond.
I don't know why. So let's see, April 8th.
I'm glad you said something, because I wouldn't have done chapter 13 at all, because I didn't see it.
So look at modules. I don't know why it's not showing up, but you look in modules and not the calendar.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Week 9.
I-
So
I don't know why your calendar isn't showing anything, because that's not, or let's see,
Canvas populates
let's
stuff
see. Or
on
wait,
its own.
maybe that is when I do, when did I due date it? Let's see,
due date.
March 17th. Okay, I know why. I have to change the dates because of spring break. That is different, and the dates didn't get changed. I'll fix it. I can see why you're not seeing anything. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll go change it. It's because when spring break, I didn't move stuff, or I moved stuff around, but the dates didn't change. There's lots of stuff due.
Okay,
It's
so
a short module, though. Well, they're,
so
week 9.
All of these.
Those are all due during spring break. Yes.
Okay, that's easy.
I'm going to work. Yeah, it's not a big chapter. It's a very small chapter. Okay.
Like a mind map stuff too, or
Yes, everything. It's a regular chapter. It's a regular chapter. Okay.
just have no in class.
Right. There's no in-class stuff.
All right.
Okay? All right. Yeah, you can end that. No, I'm not being nice.